Me too. And now it's my great pleasure to introduce you to the hero of Sarah's story. And this is Dr. Wong Siew, who has been working tirelessly as an ecologist and wildlife biologist. So let's meet Dr. Wong now.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Annie. Great to
Hello,
see you.
So excited to be chatting to you this afternoon. How do you feel seeing your beautiful book that Sarah's created about your journey now in hardback? Here it is. How's that?
Yes, well, although I haven't have the hard copy yet, but I know I'm very emotional. I keep on, wiping my tears, coming up from here and there.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
fantastic.
very special moment for us. So thank you very much for hosting this wonderful event, and thank you, Sarah, for writing this my journey in 50 years in one book. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to be here for all of you today and help you launch this beautiful book. You're an ecologist and wildlife biologist. Did you ever think as a young boy keeping fish and, fishing for guppies in the local stream and helping save little local birds and taking them home and nurturing them, that you would end up one day the subject of a book and I guess working with one of the threatened species of the world? Could you have imagined that for yourself, Wong?
Well, during that time, I do not never know that I will come this far. What I know at the time is I always want to work with animals. I want to be an animal expert since I was 7, or veterinarian. At the time, I never know that, this whole journey can lead me to what I am today. But I think, my interest is always very strong, and like to work with animal, like to care, like to help animals as much as I can. And I think, maybe the gods saw my inner hearts and paved the road to what I am today. So I'm very thankful for everybody who has helped me, help my journey to be what I am today. Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Wong, yes, sometimes your connection is lagging a little bit behind. So I'm just going to
Okay.
ask you questions and get you to answer.
Sure.
You've spoken passionately there about that inner knowing that your journey in some way was going to be connected with animals. At what point did you come in contact with sun bears for the first time?
Well, I think when I was a kid, my very first image of a sunbears is actually visiting this Penang Botanical Garden. And during my childhood, and at the time, there were 4 sunbears, being displayed in this botanical garden. Although it is a botanical garden, there are sunbears, and also there are a big cage of orangutans. And I think that is the very first contact of me with the sunbears. And at the times, I don't have any special feeling of a sun bear, although I feel like they are very cool animals. They are very, majestic. And then it is not until I was given the opportunity to study sun bear for a master project, then I spent a lot of time reading on them and try to know more about them. And that's how this whole journey started. That was back in 1994.
At a time when really there was very little information around about one of the iconic animals of your country. Why do you think that was, that there wasn't a lot of information and no one had ever studied them before?
Yeah, I think, given that they live in this tropical rainforest in Southeast Asia, or tropical forest in Southeast Asia, the work to conduct a research in this kind of forest is extremely difficult. And then given that, in addition, given that they are also not a priority species for conservation compared to rhino, elephants, tiger, orangutans, so there has been ignored, or they have been forgotten for so long. And also, in this part of the world, most of the countries are developing country, and wildlife conservations, unless you pump in a lot of resources from overseas, then it is not a priority for the country, because there are more urgent needs to take care of people because peoples are still poor, the countries is still developing, that sort of issue. So the combinations of difficulties to conduct study in this rainforest, um, the priority for the countries, and also this animal is extremely elusive. It's very difficult to see one, to observe one, to find one, but for the hunters they manage to get them. So yeah, so all in all makes this sun bears the least known bear in the world, and then until I started this research in 1998.
Sun bears, when they're babies, the cubs look so cute, and for that reason, they're often poached and sold on as pets, but they quickly grow. Tell us about, they've got a set of pretty lethal claws, don't they? I mean, they're a dangerous animal.
Yes, they are. They are wildlife. They are not only wildlife, they are carnivores, and they can grow big as myself, 80 kilograms and so on. And then so they are not good pets. I mean, this is a wildlife, and their whole body is equipped with weapon. Their canine can be very strong, very sharp, very big, and their claws is very, very destructive. All of these makes them, I mean, it doesn't make sense to want to keep a sun bear as pet, but yet in this part of the world there are people want to keep sun bears as pet, although their babies are extremely cute, but the cuteness just lasts a short period of time. And this kind of thing, and on top of that, it is against the law. So all of this information the public needs to know. So we need to tell the story. We need to educate the general public not to keep sun bear. Yes, they are cute when they are little, but you cannot keep a sun bear, period.
And very sadly, when people buy a baby cub, there's often a sad story behind that, isn't there? That the mum has been taken by poachers. What happens to those mums?
Yeah, so just like any other mammals, all infant mammal have to have mom, yeah, to nurse them. I mean, to nurse them, to take care of them, and so on. Same with the sun bear. So for a sun bear, in order for poachers to get a baby cub, the mom has to kill, because the mom would die protecting the cubs. So every time you see a sun bear is being kept as pets or in the market or being sold on the internet, behind this cub, what you don't see is a mom being brutally killed and being butchered and being consumed, gallbladder used as traditional medicines, canine claws used as souvenirs, and meat to be eaten, or the poor considered as delicacy, and so on. So it's a very, very sad thing that you see every time there's a bear's cub showed up. Yeah.
What was your first experience of seeing a sun bear in the wild like?
Oh, my very first sun bears in the wild was the one that I trapped back in 1999, after spending months and months and trying to trap them. The purpose is to fit a radio collar on the bears so that I can follow the bears in the forest. So seeing a wild sun bears in a trap is like, of course, the adrenaline is have a high surge. My heart is like pounding, but I need to stay calm and then be calm and cool and know exactly what am I going to do next. Sedating the bears, handling the bear, fitted the collar, and then wait until the bears wake up, and then free. And then after that, we follow their tail and then start to study them. So it was a very, very excited moment, and it takes years to train me to do what I wanted to do, which is study the sun bear. So that moment is very, very special. I still remember the date. Is 22nd June 22nd, 1999.
There you go. You've got that date in your mind.
Yes.
How many bears have you now released into the wild, Wong?
Yeah, right now we have released 7 bears back into the wild. Yeah, and then our center still right now, the Bonen Samay Conservation Center right now have 43 sun bears, and there are few bears on the pipeline that to be released pretty soon. Yeah.
Will all of those bears ultimately be returned to the forest?
No, unfortunately not. Actually, we have quite a few bears that are not release candidate. They have been kept as a pets for a long, long time. So they lost the instinct on foraging in the wild. They lost um, they lost the skill, and then some of them, they have been kept in a small cage for many, many years. They can't even climb trees. And then some of them, they are habituated to people because of they have been captured since they were very little, and all in all, there are big numbers of bears at our center that is not suitable to be released back into the wild.
So you must have a big food bill feeding all of these bears.
Yes, I do have it. I do have a big foot bill feeding and try to take care of these bears.
We're going to hear a little bit more perhaps about how you look after the bears and raise money for your sanctuary as well a little later in our program this afternoon when I catch up with you and Sarah Pye once again. Thank you so much for speaking with me, Wong. It was really interesting to learn a little bit about sun bears.